adventuresofmel.com, where we share food and travel, outdoor adventure, and some homestead. And tonight we're going to be showing you how to make a really delicious Instant Pot corn on the cob. So Dan's going to get you started, and I'm going to share that we're live, and then we'll get this rolling.
Okay, so basic ingredients, you're going to want your Instant Pot. We got 5 ears of corn here. You're going to have 2 tablespoons of honey, half a cup of heavy cream. You could use milk if you wanted, or skim milk. I prefer heavy cream just because, you know, it's a little thicker, makes the sauce a little creamier, as well as there's no carbs in heavy cream. So I've got a cup of hot water already in the Instant Pot going, and let's see, so bring my cutting board over. This is a really quick recipe, really simple. It only takes 5 minutes to cook, so it makes it really nice. So you're not going to want to boil your corn anymore after trying this. So we'll go ahead and get these things shucked.
Sometimes we shuck them at the store. I like to shuck them at home just because. But I usually will just open them up and look inside a little bit at the store to take a good ear and make sure it's a good one. This one doesn't look so hot though.
A little old. So
we try to remove as many of the stuff as possible, but washing helps with that too.
You'll notice that our kitchen looks a little bit different tonight. So someone got the wild hair that she wanted a new backsplash and some cabinets removed, so I did it really quick.
You're working on it. Hopefully next week we'll have it. Hopefully next week we'll at least have the backsplash partly done, or maybe all the way done. Okay, this is being wonky.
Things look good here.
Okay.
So I like to cut off the ends of my corn and square them up. For this recipe, just because they fit a little better, I like to cut them in half as well.
If you guys have any questions as we're going along, just be sure to put them in the comments below. We'll take some time in a few minutes while the corn is cooking to answer those questions. So I'm going to put in a half a cup of cream. We already have a whole cup of water in, and we've got it warmed up. And then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of honey.
So 5 ears of corn cut in half, and this is a 6-quart Instant Pot. 5 ears of corn fit in there just perfectly. You could fit more in if you wanted.
And there's a link to the printable recipe up above, so you can click on that and go get the recipe and print it off so you can make it yourself. Alright.
So you want to take these and put them in on end. They fit a little bit better.
Kind of stir it up as you're putting it in, putting the first couple in.
I guess you could probably fit another ear in there, depending on the size of the ears.
And then we're just going to put the lid on. Do the honors.
So again, you're sitting at 5 minutes.
Make sure your valve is at seal.
Okay.
It's going to cook. So that's all of the prep for it. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. Let me see if we have any questions. Oh, Brenda's on. Hey, Brenda. Do we have anybody else? And not any questions yet. So I'm just going to let this cook.
So we'll just pretend that this is done.
Which it is partly done, so.
So
You want
some of
this
it's
back?
done, but
There we go.
so basically you're going to get your corn's come out. It looks like normal corn that's been cooked. So corn doesn't change very much, but so you just pull it out and do whatever you want with it. We have these little fancy corn pokers that we like to put in the ends. If you let it sit for a few minutes, then not a big deal. But we got butter. You can put butter on it if you want. It already tastes really good without butter. So
Yeah.
you may try it that way too. With the cream
And the honey.
and the honey and being in the pressure cooker, it really infuses the taste really well into the corn. So I was very surprised the first time that I tried doing this and experimenting. Try it without just put a cup of water in and try it instead of putting cream and sugar in that way too. So, or cream and honey, you can use sugar, you can use any type of sweetener you want, I guess, or none at all. So, but it makes the flavors really infused in the corn. So I said it only takes 4 or 5 minutes to cook once it comes up to pressure.
It's really infused, but the corn is not soggy at all. It's still got a crispness to it, and it's sweet, and it has a lot of flavor. So Brenda
So-
says just eat it. Oh, hey Virginia. She says hello, your regular stalker here again.
Bottom part's done. But one thing though to remember with the corn, you don't want to leave it in the Instant Pot. So as soon as your 5 minutes are up, go ahead and do a quick release on it, and then pull your corn out. Now, with the corn, just kind of like when you're cooking pasta too, this likes to, when you release the pressure on the corn, I think just because of the starchiness of the corn, it works best to put a napkin or a rag or something over top of the vent when you release it, because it likes to spit out a little bit of water and you don't want to burn your hands. So, but yeah, we're not even close.
It really literally only takes a few minutes. Yesterday I think I had time I put it in, I had time to look at a few things with my camera and take a couple pictures, and it was done.
So once it comes up to pressure, it is literally 5 minutes. You could even probably cut it down to 4 minutes if you want, but if you have your water boiling beforehand and all your stuff beforehand, when you put the lid on, it'll come right up and cook just fine. So let's see.
Who else we have?
Take some more questions here.
Terry says hi. Hi Terry. How do you guys cook corn on the cob? I know I grew up boiling it, so have you ever tried cooking it in the Instant Pot? We want to know.
In Virginia, tonight it's just corn. So we thought it would go a little differently than this, but it's not.
You live and you learn. I had the idea that maybe we should do something in addition, like a salad or something, but
We probably should have.
Yeah.
Probably would have been.
you live and you learn.
So hopefully you guys still enjoy it here, and hopefully you try this and enjoy it like we have. So the kids like it, the baby loves it, but it definitely helped.
Yeah, and sometimes we're not very hungry in the summertime, so corn on the cob and maybe a small burger or even a piece of watermelon, because it's so hot, you just don't feel like eating. So it's
Nancy
perfect.
said that they did this in the Instant Pot over the weekend.
Oh well, they
out
were
camping.
camping. That's a good idea.
So I like it much. I'll never boil it again in water.
No.
So it just takes too long, and the flavor, it seems to boil all the flavor out with doing it this way. It keeps the flavor of the corn. So Virginia was saying about making chili. Did we make chili one time
We
before?
did. Yeah, we did.
So there should already be a live video. If you go back through
I can drop
live
the link
videos.
in for you when we're done. I'll drop the link in the comments.
we made a kind of a, was it slightly, it was kind of lower, it was a lower carb chili, as low as you could,
I think so.
as low carb as you could get chili. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
been-
really good. It was actually pretty popular too with people.
so it was a few months ago that we did it.
And we also made chicken noodle soup in the Instant Pot, and we did a strawberry cheesecake in the Instant Pot, and that was really fun.
Yeah, if you like cheesecake, go watch that one. You'll enjoy the cheesecakes that come out of the Instant Pot.
What else would you guys like to see in the Instant Pot? I've thought about doing brownies. I don't know what else. Probably do a cobbler. A peach cobbler would be good.
We need,
Anything like that.
need to make another a really good low carb recipe for the Instant Pot.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we did our sausage and cauliflower casserole too. At
So
one point.
Virginia says is definitely, yeah. If there's no bean in it, yeah, beans have some carbs, but beans have better carbs than, you know, they're healthier carb than just like say a pasta, a carb from a pasta or something. So if you don't put a lot of beans in it, you know, I think don't remember what serving size for the carbs on beans is off the top of my head, but usually when we make chili, you know, I won't eat a lot of the beans. You know, I can still eat some of the sauce. It's not really low carb, but
We've tried it with lentils too, and it wasn't terrible, but there's still not a lot of difference in the amount of carbs.
no, there's not.
So,
So
Nancy's asking if corn bothers your diet.
it all depends on how much I eat. So being that we've been having corn the last few nights here off and on, so I try not to eat, you know, I try to limit my carb intake a little more than I normally do, but you know, I still try to eat, you know, between 5 to 10, sometimes 15 carbs per meal, or less, depending on what we're eating. So, you know, I don't know what corn is, but the last time that I checked after eating corn, it didn't rise my blood sugar too much. So, but I also feel that, you know, it's getting a little harder to tell what rises my blood sugar, because I think my body's slowly starting to heal finally. So, you know, foods that did bother me, you know, a year and a half ago don't bother me quite as bad now. So.
And Nancy says she's heard that meatloaf in the Instant Pot is good.
I bet meatloaf would be
That
good.
would be good. We could try that sometime. That would be delicious, actually.
So, oh, it's sealed.
Hey!
So I got this little fancy cake tester that I like to. Sometimes when this thing gets going pretty good, it's noisy, and I'll usually reach in and pop the little seal and make it seal itself a little quicker than normal. So.
See if anybody else has any. Jenny says she does no bean.
You know, and no, it wouldn't be bad coming up with some sort of no. Why don't you squash? You could probably
You could.
do some squash.
But squash has carbs too.
Not
so-
as much as beans, though. Beans are like 22 grams of carbs per serving, where squash is probably around 12 or
Yeah.
11 or 12.
When he first was diagnosed, it was actually really shocking finding out how many carbs we were actually eating, even in our vegetables. Even our vegetables were full of carbs. It was a little ridiculous.
Well, there's good carbs and bad carbs
Yeah.
though. There's carbs that are, you know, within fiber, and most of your vegetables are a fiber-based carb, which is good for you. When you're diabetic, it's still not the greatest for you. You still, you know, got to watch it.
Yeah.
But you still need some of that, you know. But
All right. Well, if you guys have any more questions, be sure to put them in the comments. And remember, the link to the printable recipe is up above. You can go print it out. It's pretty straightforward, though. It's corn on the cob. So,
yeah, Virginia's, yeah, there's carbs in almost everything.
yes.
So I eat a lot of spinach. So spinach is, I've really come to like leaf spinach over lettuce. The flavor that I taste so much more flavor in the spinach, so I don't mind eating it. But I eat it for probably,
You wanna come
2 to 3 meals a day.
Come in.
You want some half cooked corn?
We'll have fully cooked corn in about a minute.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. So Brenda says she thought she made a comment on here, apparently not. She has this exact pot but hasn't yet used it. Kind of chicken. Still a bit old school with the pressure cookers.
Okay, Brenda. I know you probably got some corn somewhere in the fridge there. You need to make this tonight. You and Jeff will really enjoy it. And this really, I feel a lot safer with this than the old pots, the old, you know, canning pots and the pressure cooker pots that, you know, like we used to always use. So, but it really, you know, it's built really well. So, I mean, I don't, you know, it's got 2 safety releases on it. So if it does, you know, go over pressure, it's gonna, you know, release. So it's not a big deal. But give it a try.
Come here.
You'll really enjoy the things that are cooked in it, and it makes things a lot easier.
Virginia's asking who's eating the corn.
Oh, this is Jaden.
9-year-old, our middle child.
How's it taste? Not cooked very much.
Great. Your sheet card died.
Did it?
So, oh, Nancy says, what's your favorite meal to go with corn on the cob? I like grilling anything. So burgers. We've had steak with it. What's your favorite?
There's been times in the past we've just had corn.
Yeah.
Tomatoes. We've done a lot of just slicing up tomatoes and putting cottage cheese on them in the past.
Or a good tomato sandwich. That's really good with corn on the cob.
So Virginia says you are very handsome. You're gonna eat all of it, aren't you?
2 minutes.
We're getting closer.
Getting closer.
It's probably done. We could probably kick
Yeah,
it
I
out.
know. We should.
Yeah, let's
kick
do
it
it.
out.
They've been with us long enough.
So when you do this, you want to be careful, like he said earlier. And you don't let it burn you.
You just want something on top of it.
I didn't think we were going to make it to the end, and we did. Everybody's asking awesome questions.
We've babbled on enough.
Yeah.
So, there.
You want a piece that's fully cut?
Where'd my cake poker go?
Put it back here.
We'll speed this along. This is not approved ways to release
No.
it.
Don't try this out. Oh, Virginia says a friend of hers puts a cloth over hers.
I've used hot pads, sponges, anything that I can.
It looks delicious.
So,
Yeah, let's fill the serving dish. So we'll usually put it in a serving dish, and then I like to spoon a little bit of the cream mixture on top of it, just to let it kind of sit in it a little bit.
so one thing I have noticed with doing corn in the Instant Pot is you can tell where the bad kernels are. I never noticed this before with boiling it in a pan, but now I go back and think, I wonder how long. So we had that one piece that was a little iffy, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but when you do this, you can see here that the bad kernels change color. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know the scientific reason of why that happens, but we had that whole one that was just like that.
And here it is. You want to take a close up?
Oh, you want?
Oh yeah, spoon a little bit on top.
So this mixture, it's very liquidy still. You could cook it down, but it's not really sweet. Not too sweet with the honey.
Just right. It's just right.
But you will never go back to boiling corn in a pan. Okay. You're not drinking it.
No, you're not drinking that.
Hop out of the way. So I'll bring this up here a little closer. Everyone can see.
Was it good?
Try not to drip any of this on me, but so the cream kind of gets in between the kernels a little bit, which is pretty interesting.
I'm just gonna stick a piece.
I don't know if they're not edible. I just noticed that like when we were shucking the corn, you can see some of the kernels were a little iffy. You know, like they're a little deflated. They're not as inflated or puffed out as the other kernels are, or they're starting to have a slightly different color, but they always turn dark like that. So I'm not sure why it does that. So I need to figure out why. I don't, they may. I'm just thinking they're bad. I mean, I don't think I would put that in my mouth and eat it. And it kind of reminds me of Indian corn. But maybe they are good. I don't know.
Our kids, yeah, they might be.
They seem hard, almost like whatever was inside hardened up. But
You want a bite of it? I'm gonna wait till it cools down a little bit. But our kids like to just snack on it. So see if anybody else has questions. No.
it sure is delicious, though.
All right.
I wish I would have known this 10, 15
Yeah.
years ago.
No kidding.
Wish I would have known a lot of things 10 or 15 years ago. But it's really good. So, again, if you guys have any more questions, throw them in. We'll go through and monitor this tonight and answer any questions that come up. And
Yep.
we'll get a link to the chili in there for you, Virginia, so that you can go back and watch that one. And I think I'm going to do some little research and maybe build a recipe, a no bean chili.
That sounds good.
See
I
how
like that
low
idea.
carb I could get it.
Yeah, I like that idea. And a meatloaf.
A meatloaf. Yeah,
Meatloaf
we
would
should
be
try a
good.
meatloaf.
Mhm.
We might do that.
I like that idea.